Hurst Composite Door Installation Guide. This composite door installation video is designed to assist experienced tradespeople to install Hurst composite doors safely and correctly. To install a composite door, we recommend using the following tools. Pre-installation checks when fitting a composite door and frame. Prior to commencing any installation work, there are a number of checks to undertake before fitting a new composite door and frame. Firstly, the door set specification, including door style, glass, furniture and colour, should be checked against the order confirmation provided by Hurst before discarding any packaging. This includes any ancillary components which may be supplied loose. Remember to locate the door keys. These are generally attached to the top of the door frame to prevent them getting lost in transit. You should also check that the handing is correct and that the door is free from damage as well as the correct size. Once on site, the door and aperture should be measured once again to check it is the correct size. During installation, it is advised to repeatedly check the squareness and alignment of the outer frame. Measure the distance across diagonally to ensure squareness. Without these necessary checks, the installation will not be satisfactory and will result in the door not opening correctly or causing damage to the door leaf while it's being used. Any shortages or defects must be reported within 72 hours of delivery. We strongly advise that the existing door is not removed until all pre-installation checks have been completed. Fitting the composite door and frame. The positioning of the new frame in the aperture is fundamental to the success of the installation. In general, the replacement door set should bridge the cavity, cover the damp-proof course, and be set as far back as possible in the aperture to minimize exposure to the elements. Holes should be drilled throughout the frame using the technical diagram provided as a guide to create the fixing distances and positions. The fixing bolts should be a minimum of 120 mm in length and penetrate a minimum of 50 mm into the substrate. The head of any through-frame fixings must be seated beneath the outer wall of the plastic outer frame member within the hollow chamber to prevent distortion or cracking of the frame. Check the diameter of screw fixings to ensure the door frame is securely fixed into place. Appropriately sized installation packers must be used adjacent to fixing positions to prevent outer frame distortion during installation. The fixings should be tightened so that the frame is held securely against the packers, taking care not to over-tighten the screws or distort the frame. Note that packers should be used adjacent to hinge and locking points. Once installed, ensure that the air gap on the lock side is no greater than 5 mm. Once the composite door and frame are fitted, close the door into the frame and adjust the hinges to make sure the door opens and closes perfectly. You should also ensure that the keeps are adjusted to position the door catch. Efforts should be made during installation to ensure that any debris such as wet plaster does not foul drainage paths nor impair the operation of hardware. Sand, cement nor plaster should be used to fill the gap between the frame and the structural opening, with the exception of pointing under the threshold. The door set should be clean and all protective film removed as soon as the installation is complete and prior to perimeter sealing. The purpose of the perimeter sealant is to prevent water and air leakage between the aperture and the door set. Gaps can be sealed solely with a ribbon of sealant. The sealant should fill the gap to a depth of no less than the width of the gap. Mastic tape can be used to create a clean edge and to prevent excess sealant getting on the frame. The composite door and frame features drainage holes to steer water away and avoid a buildup of moisture. When sealing perimeter joints, take care to ensure any drainage channels are not blocked or obstructed. After installation, a final inspection should be carried out to ensure that the installation is of the highest standard. Final inspection.
The areas to be checked are as follows.
Visual appearance.
Once installed, check that the door is plumb and square.
Check the door set is clean and all protective film has been removed. Check all internal trims have been installed correctly. Check that no weld cracks or damage has been caused during installation. Check that the site is clean and all debris has been removed. Door set operation. There are no air gaps between the frame seal and the door leaf.
The door locks and unlocks satisfactorily, and the hooks and strikers don't scrape or rub.
The door leaf opens and closes correctly. All hardware has been attached with the correct number of fixings. Fixings. Through frame fixings have been used at the correct distances. Fixing heads are located within the frame profile. Sealing. Sealing joints are smooth and the correct shape. The sealant continuously runs around the frame. There is no excess sealant on the frame faces. Drainage. Threshold drainage channels are free from obstruction. Sill end caps are in place and firmly attached.